What's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of FemFlex Friday. Now, guys, a week and a half ago, we had a local show here in Arizona, Dennis James Classic, and we have seen so many beautiful women on stage that we decided to invite here one of them, and she is the winner of both the women's physique division and the women's bodybuilding division. Kaylin Heisler, welcome to our show.
Hello, thank you guys. Good to see you guys again.
Yeah, good to see you. You're not all tanned up.
I know, a little bit wider.
Which is nice, right? It's a lot of work.
It is.
Yeah, you're no more tan, as she said, no more like a bikini. We don't have the bikini, but we still have the poses if we want to go in that way.
Still good.
Maybe we'll keep it till the end. So, we really want to know, how did you start in this beautiful journey, I think? How long have you been on this? Because when I looked at your pictures, the quality and the density of your muscle is remarkable. So you probably haven't started it like 3 weeks ago, right?
No, I haven't been doing it too long. My first show was actually November 2020.
Okay.
So not too long ago. And before then, we didn't really know much about the sport. I had a trainer at the time who was into the sport and went to go watch him, and that's kind of how I first discovered, I kind of like this. I think I'd like to give it a try.
How did you get involved in the sports to start with?
I've always been active. I've always been in the gym in high school, basketball. I did martial arts as a kid.
Okay.
So being active was always kind of there. I didn't do bodybuilding until I watched my coach compete in a bodybuilding show.
Okay. I always find that a lot of the athletes that compete in bodybuilding and in fitness in our divisions, they always have a start somewhere.
Yeah.
And when you start like in martial arts, you start at a young age, you already build a base.
Yeah, I started at 6.
Okay.
So I did that for a long time.
So you had the discipline there.
Yeah, I started karate at 6, and I did that for 8 years. So I was a second-degree black belt for a while.
Oh, that's awesome.
So in the gym 5 days a week.
Was your family into sports as well?
Yeah, my mom was at every activity I did. Yeah, Screaming. She's been at all of our bodybuilding shows.
Okay.
So that's always
she was
fun.
there.
Yeah, she was there. Yes.
Wow.
Now, are you born here in Arizona?
Yeah, born and raised here.
So you had an athletic family as a background, right? That pushed you through this. And then you said you were going to the gym and you had a trainer?
Yeah, at the time I had a trainer because I had gained a lot of weight. I had a lot of health problems at the time, so I had gained a lot of weight. So I hired him just to kind of tone me back down and just kind of get back into it. And then
how old were you when that happened, if I can ask?
I was probably about 21, 22, and I had gained a lot of weight. And I was in college at the time, and I was just graduating from the Department of Justice, and I was gonna actually become a police officer because that's what my family wanted me to do. But really, I had no interest in it. I kind of just
So your family wanted you to be
my grandparents a police officer.
a police officer.
I graduated and everything.
Wow. Do you have police officers in the family?
My grandmother's a lawyer.
Okay.
So it was kind of instilled in me as a child, like, this is what you're gonna do. And I was good at it, but I didn't like it. So I passed all my classes, and I was getting ready to go to the academy, and I was like, I don't want to do this. Like this is not what I want to do. So then for them, that was kind of a big devastating moment, and then that's when I kind of started gaining weight because I was depressed. So that's kind of then when I started. I hired a trainer. I was like, no, and then I kind of just fell in love with. I want to change, and I want to help other people change and, discover themselves. And that's kind of how I discovered me in the sport too, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's always cool when a person, you had that foundation of the martial arts, and then you go on to try to do what your grandparents, your parents want, or what you think you should be doing. And then you realize, okay, this is not what I want to do. And now I'm kind of depressed. And you figured out how to fix it. Like you figured out, like instinctively you knew that you needed to do something to pull yourself out of it. And you hired a trainer.
That was the first step, And he was awesome. His name is Josh, and he was with me, I think, for like 2 years. And then I kind of outgrew him, and then I was like, well, I want a bodybuilding coach, and that's kind of just how it all kind of started.
You started, so you said that he was competing? And he is the one that actually pulled you out of, helped you get out of the depression, get rid and change your body, right?
Yes.
Because I do believe that when you go through a hard time like that, right, it offers you the possibility to get out of it instead of being complacent and staying there and living through pain, right?
Yeah.
So I think that coming out of that experience in such a great way, this is your story that of inspiration, right?
Yeah.
If you want to share with us a picture before and after, would you be comfortable with that?
Yeah.
That would be
Wow.
awesome. So then we can see you how you were at at 60 pounds plus, and the moment, like, would you consider that that you hit rock bottom? That was the hardest part of your life.
That was
right.
yeah.
So from such a hard event, right, you got like a rising phoenix with the help of the bodybuilding, right, and the discipline, and then all the people that came around you, to change that
and help that and
this
encourage
is
it as well.
It is a beautiful story that needs to be told, because I think that as human beings we always go through that. We all have our hard times.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes, and most of the times, bodybuilding and discipline and lifting and changing the way we look is a catalyzer to pull us out of those hard times.
Yeah, I know bodybuilding saved my life a couple times, and one was that first time around that age where you're graduating from college and you're going into the world of working, like, because up until that age, like, life is still kind of like you get 3 months vacation for the summers.
Yeah.
Like, then now suddenly you have to be responsible. It's real. It's no more than 3 months, and it's like, okay, this is real. I got to really do this. And I also had where I started to get depressed, and I kind of started acting out. And bodybuilding is what saved my life.
Yeah.
And then gave me something
to do, I feel like, and kind of pull me out of that.
Yeah.
So it took you about 2 years, did you mention, to get like used to it, right?
Yeah, for the first 2 years, I would just, because I was really overweight, I was just like, I just want to lose weight.
So you were losing a lot of.
Yeah,
How long did it take you to lose those 60 pounds?
Like a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay, so you did it in a healthy way, right? Gradually.
And I learned a lot, because I used to be in the gym, but never like training or like specifically trying to do things, new things or anything like that. So the first 2 years was really just to get healthy and lose weight, and it helped my mind. And then that's when I watched him do the show, and I was like,
what was your biggest motivation going through this process?
That was just the lowest point, and I didn't want to be there anymore, because that's not who I was. I think, and then watching him compete, I was like, I want to do that, and it's something that looks like for me. Like, it was almost like a calling. Like,
yes.
So did you get to see his transformation prior to him stepping on stage? I mean, like, you got to see him kind of be like 20 pounds heavier.
Yes.
And
which was awesome to watch him. Like, oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to see everyone else, I was like, oh, wow. I had never seen nothing like that. So,
what division was he competing in?
I think he was in classic.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was definitely, because he was kind of like me. He was a little bit chubby, and then to watch him slim all the way down, and I was like,
and then that was your motivation. So from how long ago? Like, better put, how long did it take you from that point, right, when you got rid of the fat, and then you were at a point where you're like, I think I'm ready to get ready for a show, right?
It was probably at least like a year and a half later, because my first show wasn't going to be until 2019.
Okay.
In March, 2 weeks out before COVID hit. So
Getting ready for what division?
I was going to compete in figure.
Okay, in figure.
Yes.
Okay.
And then once we found out everything was shut down, I was like, well, okay, let's just go back to growing then, since I don't know when it's going to open.
Yeah. But since COVID stopped you there for a second, we're going to stop here too for a short commercial break. We're back here in the studio with Kaylin Heisler, and we're talking about your journey, right? We were just abruptly stopped getting ready for your first show, right? And you said at that point you had a different trainer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you were getting ready for figure. Mm-hmm. Yes. And how was your body coming along for figure?
It was good. I was really small.
Okay.
So I wasn't too developed or anything yet. I would have been on the smaller side. But it was my first show, you know, so I just wanted to get one under my belt. And
So how did you choose figure? How did you make that decision?
just on like watching the poses and stuff, I was like, I feel like that's a good place to start.
I see. Okay.
Especially with my structure at the time.
I understand.
And I knew eventually, though, that I wanted to keep going into, you know, women's physique or bodybuilding.
Okay.
How did you like the figure posing?
I liked the posing, honestly, but I was like, I don't want to wear these heels. I don't mind them, but I feel like I can't focus on really, you know, flexing and giving it my all, because I was like, I don't want to stumble. I see some bikini girl stumbling. Imagine me.
Yeah.
So, but it was the shoes were definitely it, the heels.
Yeah, you know, Linda, you know, I have actually never tried to pose on heels all my life. Have you ever tried it? We've just did bodybuilding.
Actually, I made this really bad decision. I was guest posing. I wanted to come out on stage in heels, but they were just like, you know, regular heels. This was before I'm out there, and I started, you know how you tremble and shake? Because I was trying to flex and do some things, and I'm like, what the heck? I had to kick them off and play it off like it was part of the thing. But yeah, so it is. That would be hard. That's challenging. It's very hard.
So the show in 2019 didn't happen.
No.
Right? And then what was your strategy?
I was like, well, I'm just going to bulk up because I don't know how long we're going to be closed. And then, you know, when things start opening up, I'll start slimming back down. So I did that for like a year and a half. And then my first show was in November 2020. Me and my fiance did our first show together. She's a bikini competitor. So that was fun.
Okay.
And we did good for our first show. I competed in figure again.
So it took you, it just took you said 2019 or 2020?
2020 was the
a
first
year
show.
and a half of bulking. Right now, I want to just to gauge the weight. So how heavy were you when you stopped training in 19?
I was
like your
I was
stage
small.
weight.
I was
for
like
figure.
Like 115, 120.
Okay, and then in the end of your bulking phase, you got up to?
Like 150.
So did you do it on your own, or did you work with a trainer all this off-season time?
Just me and my fiance every day.
Okay.
Just us.
That's beautiful. That's great.
That sounds, so how was it? Like, it was cool because you both competed in the show together in dieting, even though she's in bikini and you are in bodybuilding. So was the diet different? I mean, I guess it's cool because you're both dieting.
Yes. It makes it easier, honestly, because we're both dieting. And our coach is really good about keeping in, you know, our refeed days, like, together. So it's not so bad.
Okay.
But for the most part,
it's great.
That's all we've known how to do together. So
that's good. That's what it's the same method. I find that because it's the same method, as you said, you can have the refeed days together, so you both enjoy, right?
And we're both suffering.
But most of the couples, you know, many times I heard that they actually start to have fights, and it's getting hard towards the end of the prep.
See, now I think that's when we feel like are even closer, because we both know, like, it's coming. We're almost there.
Yeah.
I feel like as long as we communicate, it's good.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to do it without her, because I don't think I'd want to watch her eat.
Yeah. Right.
I think it is a little bit different, and it is changed compared to somebody who would be, let's say, off season and trying to reach 6,000 calories in a day, and somebody who's barely on 1,500 and eating greens, and then just like, you would be like, you don't understand, right? Because that's when the problem is. The person who's doing well doesn't understand how much the person who's doing bad is suffering.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So the key would be to keep on doing the shows together.
Yes.
Right?
That's what we said. Always together, it works out better.
So how was that figure show, the first show you did? How was it for you?
It was good. I had a lot of fun. I did well. I did second place, and then I did first in true novice, so it was good.
Okay, that's great. Congratulations.
Good start.
And that was just one show that you did that
Yes,
year?
that was for my first show, and then I waited till next 2021 would be my second show. We did in June, and then 3 weeks later in July for the USAs.
Okay, so you went to the USAs as well. So in
Good.
2021, was it still figure?
No, that's when I did my first physique show.
You did physique. So how did you do in physique when you switched?
I did okay. I did second place again in
Yeah.
physique. And then in the 3 weeks later at the USAs, I did fifth in physique as well at the
Okay.
USAs.
What class were you there? The class, the height.
The height, 5 feet.
Okay, no.
5'5".
So you were class A, B, C?
No, it was, I think C, 5'5".
C, okay, yeah,
5'4" to
Because you
5'5".
talking about the USA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their numbers are so great. That
Yeah.
That's when it makes a really big difference between like from classes, like now you have like, as far as the height, I don't
Yeah.
know how that works, but I know they go up to E, F, G, H.
Yes,
Like,
they go up high, yeah.
They go up high. Go up high. So was there like a difference because you did the figure and now you're in physique as far as your relationship with your body and looking for certain things? Like, because I know with bodybuilding, our legs and our glutes, like you're always like, I'm always every morning like, wait for my legs to come in, wait for my legs to come in. And I don't know, was there a difference? Like, did you, because size is important, right? Being ripped and lean, you see some of the competitors in women's physique, whereas with figure, I don't know, like it's not quite like that.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
No, I did notice that.
How did you know how to change the training method, right? Because you said you did it on your own, right?
I'm really good with my legs. I've always been really good with my legs. I kind of get those naturally from my mom. And I think from being in martial arts for so many
Yes.
years, all we did was train legs. So those never are a problem for me, really.
Wow.
To grow them. But coming down this time was the first time where I was like, come on.
That's what I'm saying.
Normally they're the last to come, but I think overall I just switched a lot of things on my diet and all worked really well for me.
Okay. So you weren't concerned, you don't worry about your legs. For putting size on, you're not worried, but
No.
as far as getting leaner towards that last period,
yes.
it was challenging a little bit?
They came in a lot faster than they normally do. They've never came in that fast. So
Okay.
I just think my coach switched my whole diet and it worked in my favor. Thank God.
Is he the one who decided, or she, your coach, that decided to switch to physique, or it was you?
It was me.
It was you?
Yeah, it was me.
How did you like the posing part?
I like the posing
Yeah.
a lot.
It's more ways of expression, right?
Yes, most definitely, yeah. And there's multiple ways you could do a pose. It's not just so, you know, 4 standard little poses. So.
How about your posing routine? Who did it?
One of my coaches. I have
Okay.
2 coaches. I have my nutrition coach, and then I have like a diet coach.
Okay.
But my posing coach kind of helped me with that. And I also like the bodybuilding poses. Those are probably my favorite.
Oh, they
Okay,
are?
really?
So you
I
are?
like bodybuilding.
Okay, that's good. So now you know that you like body, because you
I
just
like-
won women's physique and bodybuilding.
Yes.
So between those two, you the champion, and now you're saying it's bodybuilding.
I think eventually I'd like to be in bodybuilding. I just want
Okay.
to grow and add
Okay.
more density and size and everything. But that's-
So what's coming after we had, so you competed in June and then you competed again in the beginning, like this June, right? The
Yes.
Dennis James Classic, right? What did you do the previous year? Did you do Dennis's show as well?
no, it was, I think, the Arizona Open.
Oh, okay. Okay. This show is a lot of fun. Whenever we go to Dennis James show, it's so much fun. We like that venue and
Yes. Well,
It is.
we had went to watch it last year just to watch. So I was like, oh, no, let's do it. That seems like a nice show.
So how did it feel for you to actually go there and win both
It felt
divisions?
good. That felt good. I didn't
Right?
expect it. I knew I wanted to do good, but I was like, oh, I knew I was prepping more for USAs. So in the back of my mind, I was like, I still want to kill it, but
I see. And, you know, like when I remember looking at the women's bodybuilding division and the other competitor there, she definitely had more size than you had, right? How did
Yes.
you feel? Did you feel like you're going to get it when you start after the prejudging? How did you feel?
I felt good just because it was the best for me that I have looked. So
Yes.
really, that's all I was worried about.
Tell you about that
There
if
you go.
Erin, you can show us a picture of her on stage.
Yeah, because you were in great shape.
Yeah.
I interviewed you immediately after, and you were like, yeah.
I was like, I can't even think.
You
Yeah.
definitely have amazing, amazing legs, and that's what stood out to me too. Like the definition, the conditioning, and the density on your legs is remarkable. You know, you definitely put your time in, and you worked hard. Your shoulders and everything, right?
Fine.
Yeah, we got a lot of
It is
views
beautiful.
on your video when we
Yeah.
interviewed. Yeah, I noticed that. Out of all the women, yeah.
So what would you think you would like to improve for, obviously USA's is coming up close, right?
Yeah.
What do you think you want to improve on a short term for that show?
I just want to come in leaner.
Okay.
Leaner, a little drier, a little harder.
Leaner and drier and harder.
Yes.
What's your most favorite pose in bodybuilding?
Probably the side chest.
Side chest?
I don't know why I love that pose.
Yeah.
I guess, have you tried the most muscular?
No, I haven't.
Oh, see? The most muscular pose, I think, is the most fun one. 'cause-
Really? You like the most?
I
you
do.
Most muscular?
Yeah. I mean, they say it's a very masculine pose, but think about like showing your traps and your shoulders and your chest and your arms and everything.
Everything's popping,
Yeah.
And in the right angle, you show your abs and you can show your legs too. It's a very powerful pose. What kind of a dieter are you? Do you get like grumpy,
No.
hangry?
So, I mean, I just get tired mostly, honestly.
Okay.
'Cause I still work a lot and, you know, obviously working out, the cardio, but I don't feel like I get too grumpy. I'm more just tired.
I see. How does it impact your day-to-day life in your job, for example?
It's really tiring because I'm a server, so I'm on my feet all day.
Okay.
So I'm like, by the end of the day, I'm delirious.
Oh yeah, that takes that you need a lot of energy for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you're a server, so that's interesting. You're
I'm
serving
around
food.
food.
Yeah.
That's the utmost test of dedication right there.
Yeah.
You probably just got used to the smells and everything.
It is, but it's when you're in prep and told you can't have something, and that's, you know.
How do you how do you eat your meals while you're working?
See, I've been at my job for 12 years, so they know. I got
Okay.
a whole big old case with me every day with all my 5-6 meals, and I just go in the back and.
You created your time.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
You
Some
put your, this
days
is
my
my
alarm's
time.
going off.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to hear more from this after this commercial break. Back in the studio is Kaylin. Now tell us more about those hard and difficult moments, because you just mentioned that you work as a server, right? And you have all these long shifts, and you come with your food, you just disregard the wonderful smells that pass by you. And you know, one of the questions was how do you do that? How do you just like isolate yourself and shut everything down and just stay focused? It's hard.
It's definitely hard. You just kind of got to put your blinders on and know that my time will come when it's needed, but right now it's not the time. I kind of just try to turn everything off and just stay focused all day, especially because I'm around people eating all day long.
All day.
Like,
Yeah.
My employees, my coworkers, everyone's eating.
I used to get some enjoyment though. Like there's that period in the very beginning of the diet, I think is challenging, and in the very end,
Those
it's
are the
challenging.
roughest,
But like
yeah.
kind of like once you get in the groove and you're in the middle, then you're like,
It's okay.
yeah, it's okay. And you know, I think at the end, I used to get enjoyment and want people to eat. Like in some way, a relationship with food, like you find, like you're in the industry where you work with food. For us, for example, she loves to cook. So there was cake. And I know you did it, right?
Yeah.
I haven't even asked you. It's delicious, by the way. She's a great baker, and I think when she's dieting, sometimes then she'll bring it in because she wants to see us eat it.
Yeah.
and that's what
I
I'm
guess I can
thinking.
kinda relate to
It was
Yeah.
You get
therapeutical
into
for
that?
me to cook and bake for my friends when I couldn't have it and watch them eat it. So I'm pretty sure that sometimes during these long shifts, right, being on your feet and everything, you get short of patience, right?
Yeah, a little
with
bit.
some of the clients, and right. How do you deal with those moments? Like, how did you learn to like? Do you show it or you step away? What's your method of coping with those moments?
I kind of always step away. That's I think with anything, no matter where I'm at, I'm like, oh, it's okay. I just give me 5 minutes to myself, and then I'm fine. I'm really good about trying to be self-aware, especially during prep, because you're tired, you're hungry,
Yes.
you're angry, a little more agitated. So I always kind of try to just remove myself for a minute, and then I come back and I'm okay.
Obviously, they don't know what you're going through. And
No,
even
and they're
if
not
they
gonna.
knew, yeah,
They're not
even if
gonna.
they knew, if they don't go through that at that moment, they cannot really 100% empathize with you.
Yeah.
So
And
I think that's wise.
And I think that this is a conversation to be had for other people out there, because like you have a goal and you know you're stepping on stage and you can't eat, but like those out there, the majority of the world, they want to diet, they want to lose weight, they want to be better, and a lot of times they're like, well, gosh, like how do you do it? And one of the things that's important to know is there's always a party, there's always a birthday. Sometimes you diet on your birthday, you know, you can't eat. There's always something. So you just have to be consistent and
Disciplined,
disciplined.
right? The discipline is, I find, the most important thing in just staying consistent with all of this.
Yeah, because you can be motivated, but if you're not disciplined enough, you're gonna find a reason to eat.
You'll find a reason.
You know, it's okay. It's just
It's
one.
okay.
No.
I catch myself going in those things. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it later.
I do
Tomorrow.
believe that the discipline, it's almost like I would almost call it the discipline muscle, because right, you start in the beginning and maybe you slip right in the beginning before you actually learn what discipline means and what discipline feels like and what it needs, how it needs to be applied, right? Because obviously, I mean, you're doing it great, but talking about discipline, I want to know, what do you think is the hardest part in prepping, right? What do you consider to be the hardest component in everything that entails a preparation and getting on stage?
I think you just being in tune with your mind, honestly. I feel like that's the most powerful thing, and once your mind, you know, starts making excuses for yourself, you're gonna go those routes. So every day I feel like I just try to stay on track, no matter how tired I am from work or from working out or cardio or the food, is just being, you know, in tune with my mind, and you can do it, you're gonna do it. Let's get it done. I feel like that's the hardest part, and you know, especially in this sport, you're either gonna do it or you're gonna make excuses. So as long as you're strong enough willed up here, I feel like the rest will follow.
Yeah, something just came to mind. So, and I get a chance to ask you this question. So you're in the beginning of this. Like what, it's been how many years now? Since 2019, 3 years?
3 years.
So Alina and I have been doing this for a long time. We've won world championships. And in the beginning, people ask us like questions like, so, like we asked a question about like what motivates you, where do you think you're gonna go with this, where you take it is, did you know you want to be Miss Olympia? I always got that. Were you going to win the Miss Olympia? And I was like, no, I was really in the beginning just going to win the Miss Michigan. Then I went to the next step, which is a USA. And then from there, it's like, so how do you see like where you're at now, and then now you're sitting here talking to that what we do, and you can see kind of what this industry is a little, or some insight. What's your thoughts coming from your place, being a newbie? Like, what do you see? What is this that you're doing? Because I know your family's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Where are you going? I don't understand.
What is it?
What is it?
Yeah.
How do they make money?
All the time. I'm like, it's a step by step. You're not just gonna start from A to Z. You know, I want to work my way first to become a pro, and then win pro shows, you know, and eventually hit that big stage. But I got to endure all these little little steps to being able to do that. But eventually, yes, I'd love to be in your guys' shoes.
Yeah, but you didn't start out. I mean, and that's again because people like here with this thing with social media, because that was something new that I didn't really understand. There are a lot of people out there, and they look on social media and they see athletes in bikini or figure or women's bodybuilding, and they say, "I want to be a pro." And I want to be a pro tomorrow. And I'm going to go hire a trainer. And I'm going to do that.
I'm just going to get first place. I heard that as well.
Yeah. No, I
you don't see it like that.
I don't see it like
no,
that.
No, I would think not.
No.
How could you?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work to do what you're doing.
Yes. And to me, as long as I've looked better in each show, then I'm happy with myself. If I look better each time I step on stage, I'm okay with the outcome. Because again, ultimately I'm competing against myself. I just want to be, whether it's my conditioning, my size, or what it is, as long as I've improved, then I'm okay with that. And I'm going to keep following that.
Of course, and you will always improve. But as a general image, what does this sport represent to you? What is it like inside when you look into your heart? What is it for you, and why do you do it? What's the motivation that makes you go every day to the gym and eat that bland food?
To me, honestly, it's a lot of passion in it. It's almost like a calling. It's what I love to do. I love being in the gym. If I could be there all day, I would. With myself, helping other people, things like that. So to me, it just has a lot more meaning. It's not just bodybuilding. It's it's the mental aspects that it does for me as well. I feel like it helps everybody mentally, physically. Then that's kind of where it all started. And I think that's where it's always gonna be for me. It's more in my heart than anything. It's
I see.
Yeah.
So it's literally what you can do with your body, working on your body, changing your body. It's literally exercising that will and changing the way you look and the way you feel.
And the way I feel, most importantly. Yeah.
With your own strengths and as the result of your work.
Yes.
And I think that this is a great message, especially coming, from the beginning of your story when, you went through a hard time as a very young adult, right? Getting all those extra pounds. And I think this is a great lesson and a great inspiration for other women, because, you could have had the other option as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
You could have had the option of not doing anything and just giving in to, the depression and all the other conditions and never moving. And, what words of inspiration, what words of advice would you have for women that are in the same situation when they get themselves, in life in a phase where they are overwhelmed by, events, people, emotions, what advice would you have for them?
It'd probably be just to, be able to try to pull yourself out in something, no matter what it's in, if it's in bodybuilding, exercising, whatever your hobby may be, is just try to find that and focus on that and use that every day, no matter what it is. Because the last thing you want to do is stuck there 5 years later and be in worse shape. And that would have been for me if I wasn't, find my light of exercise and immensely just be able to pick yourself up. You can do it. It's not going to happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
It took several years to come out of that. But as long as you're making, little steps, and you will get pushed back, but you just got to keep going and it'll happen.
I love that.
Do you feel like from this process you learned some things like about your inner self?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think I grew a lot mentally, because in that time I didn't even think it was possible. I was like, I'm just stuck with my family and everything. And you don't have to be. That's no way to live. I don't want a 9 to 5. I like bodybuilding, and I don't care who likes it or who doesn't. And this is what I'm going to do, and this is my calling, and that's just kind of where it's going to go.
Yeah. Well, whenever we improve our confidence, and we literally witness the power of creation that we have within us, that's always a booster, right?
Yeah.
That, it's really going to improve that confidence. And when you feel strong within yourself, then you tap into that creative power that makes you push, makes you realize, you know, that you actually have those powers and you have actually a lot of power in your life and you can change it
Yeah.
however you want at whatever moment, right?
Yeah.
And here we are from that, from the athlete, from the woman, the young woman that was in a phase in her life, right, when it was not the most happy, to the athlete that just won the local show, getting ready for the NPC. Good luck with everything you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it would be really great to see you on Miss International stage, trying to get that title as a bodybuilder too. But we wish you luck in everything you do.
Thank you.
And we hope to have you invited here as a pro.
Yes.
As an Olympia qualified pro, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
On
yes.
on a different episode of
That's
Femflex
right.
Friday. So thank you, Kaylin, for being here with us today and for sharing your story.
Thank you, guys.
And good luck with everything you do. And you guys, will see you on our next episode of Femflex Friday.